Welcome back, dear listeners. Have you ever pondered the universal experience of loss? Today, as we traverse the pages of Genesis 23, we're confronted with the stark reality of loss through the death of Sarah. At the ripe old age of 127, Sarah, a matriarch of faith, breathes her last in Hebron, a place of fellowship and alliance. Her passing isn't just a personal loss for Abraham, but it symbolizes the end of an era, the culmination of a life lived in faith and obedience. It's a stark reminder that loss, in all its forms, is an inevitable part of the human experience. Whether we're living in the time of Abraham or in the present day, we all encounter loss. It's a universal thread that weaves through our shared human story, uniting us across centuries. The significance of Sarah's age and the location of her death is not lost on us. At 127, Sarah had lived a long and eventful life, shaping the course of history through her faith and resilience. Her death in Hebron, a place of alliance, signifies the end of her earthly journey in a land promised to her descendants. As we reflect on these details, we're invited to ponder on the inevitability of loss. We're reminded that, just as seasons change and day turns into night, loss is a part of our journey. It's a reality that, while painful, helps shape us, molds our character, and directs the course of our lives. In the face of this inevitable loss, we see Abraham's response, both relatable and instructive. It's a response that guides us through the rest of Genesis 23, illuminating valuable lessons about grief, negotiation, and legacy. So, as we delve deeper into this narrative, let's keep in mind the profound impact of Sarah's passing and the universal experience of loss it represents. Now, let's turn our attention to Abraham's reaction to Sarah's passing. Instead of succumbing to despair, Abraham takes a practical approach. As a foreigner in a strange land, he is faced with a very real problem: finding a suitable burial place for his beloved Sarah. This tangible action, a final act of love and respect, is something we can all resonate with. It's in our nature to seek physical ways to express our grief and commemorate the ones we've lost, be it through a tombstone, a keepsake, or a cherished memory. Abraham's quest for a burial site in a foreign land underscores this universal human trait. He isn't just looking for any spot, but a fitting resting place, a testament to Sarah's importance in his life and the legacy she leaves behind. Abraham's approach leads us to a fascinating interaction with the Hittites. Abraham's negotiation with the Hittites provides a window into the ancient art of negotiation. As the narrative unfolds, it's not just a burial site at stake, but a chance to reflect on the value we place on honoring those who have passed away. The Hittites, in a show of respect and empathy, offer Abraham any tomb he chooses for Sarah's burial. A generous offer indeed, yet Abraham politely declines. He has a specific place in mind: the Cave of Machpelah. It's here that we see the first glimpse of Abraham's negotiation skills. His insistence on buying the cave, despite the open offer, shows us the importance of intentionality in memorializing a loved one. It's not just about having a place to lay Sarah to rest, it's about securing a spot that holds personal significance. In the dance of negotiation, Abraham shows us that respect and dignity are as important as the outcome. His deference to the Hittites, even as he steadfastly pursues his aim, is a lesson in diplomacy and grace. He could have accepted their offer, but he chose to negotiate, to engage in a process that not only met his practical needs but also honored his emotional connection to Sarah. The interaction between Abraham and the Hittites also prompts us to consider the value we place on the act of remembering. Abraham was willing to negotiate, to pay a price, to secure a specific location for Sarah's burial. It wasn't about the cave or the land, it was about memory. It was about the legacy he wanted to preserve for Sarah, the woman who had journeyed with him, shared his dreams and bore his son. This leads us to the unfolding negotiation with Ephron for the Cave of Machpelah. As we delve deeper into this narrative, we'll see how Abraham's negotiation skills, coupled with his deep respect for Sarah's memory, shape the course of this touching biblical story. Opening, the negotiation for the Cave of Machpelah reveals the intricacies of this ancient transaction. As we delve into the heart of this story, we find ourselves in the midst of a negotiation between Abraham and Ephron, the Hittite. A negotiation that's not merely about acquiring a cave but about securing a resting place for Sarah, a lasting legacy for her memory. Abraham, the foreigner, the stranger in the land, steps forward. His humility is striking. He bows before the Hittites, a gesture of respect and deference. He doesn't demand, he doesn't assert a right, he respectfully requests. And in this we see the art of diplomacy at play. the ability to engage with others, to honor their position, and yet to remain firm in our intentions, is a lesson we can take from Abraham. Abraham's persistence is equally noteworthy. His determination to secure the Cave of Machpelah is unwavering. He's not swayed by the Hittites' offer of a grave at no cost. He knows the value of the place he seeks, and he's willing to pay the price. This is about more than a piece of land or a burial site. This is about the memory of Sarah, about honoring her life and preserving her legacy. As the negotiation unfolds, we see Ephron's initial generosity shift. The price of the cave becomes apparent, a hefty 400 shekels of silver. Yet, Abraham doesn't balk at the cost. He understands the value of what he's securing, not just for himself, but for generations to come. This negotiation for the Cave of Machpelah, then, is a testament to Abraham's humility, his persistence, and his profound respect for Sarah. It brings into focus the importance of diplomacy in our dealings, especially when it comes to matters of legacy. Closing. This negotiation brings us to consider the price of preserving memory. How much are we willing to invest in the preservation of memory, in the legacy of those who have shaped us? As we carry their memory forward, let's remember the lessons of Abraham and the Cave of Machpelah. As we ponder the price set by Ephron, we're prompted to reflect on the cost of preserving memory. The price, 400 shekels of silver, is not a trivial sum. It's a hefty price, and yet, Abraham does not hesitate. He understands the profound significance of this purchase. It is not merely a transaction for a piece of land or a burial site. It's a commitment to preserving Sarah's memory, to ensuring her legacy continues to resonate through the generations. Abraham's willingness to pay this price speaks volumes about the value he places on memory and legacy. It's about investing in a tangible symbol of respect, love, and remembrance. The Cave of Machpelah becomes more than a burial site. It becomes a monument to Sarah's life, a testament to her influence, and a beacon of her enduring legacy. As we consider Abraham's actions, we're invited to reflect on our own lives. What price are we willing to pay to preserve the memories of those we've loved and lost? What are the legacies we wish to honor? How can we ensure these memories endure, influencing future generations in meaningful ways? These questions are not about monetary value or physical monuments. They're about the actions we take, the values we uphold, and the stories we share. They're about the lessons we've learned from those who've walked before us, and how we pass these lessons on to those who'll walk after us. Just as Abraham sought to create a lasting testament to Sarah's life, we too can seek ways to honor the memories of our loved ones. This might be through stories shared with younger generations, values lived out daily, or even places that hold special significance. In these ways, we invest in the preservation of memory, contributing to the enduring legacy of those who have shaped us. This transaction leaves us with a lasting image of a sacred space, a permanent legacy. It invites us to consider the value we place on memory, and the price we're willing to pay to ensure these memories endure. As we conclude our exploration of Genesis 23, we're left with the enduring legacy of Sarah's burial place. The final verses of this chapter bear witness to a significant moment, the formal transfer of the burial site to Abraham. This isn't just a transaction, but a deeply symbolic act of permanence, a sacred space set aside for generations to come. This enduring legacy prompts us to reflect on our own lives. What are the tangible and intangible legacies we leave behind? How do we honor those who came before us? And how will we be remembered by those who come after? In essence, this is the enduring nature of legacy. A cyclical process that weaves through the fabric of time, connecting us to the past, present, and future. And so we close this chapter pondering the profound impact of legacy on our lives. Until next time, may you find peace and inspiration in the timeless wisdom of Scripture.